All right, welcome everybody. My name is Gabby Turner. In this pick a card reading, we're going to be getting a message from your love interest who you're currently in separation from. So I welcome you to my channel if you haven't been here before. If you have, welcome back. It's nice to have you again. I just want to let you know that every Thursdays I do a live stream where we talk about different metaphysical, spiritual topics, or just topics related to self-acceptance and self-growth. And if you want to tune into those, again, those are every Thursday at 3:33 p.m. Eastern Time. And my cat is meowing in the background. Maybe she'll show up at the next one, maybe not. Gosh, she's being noisy. But yeah, I would be glad to have you at those. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm going live, so that you can be reminded of that. And I'll also include a playlist of those below if you want to check them out beforehand. They're also available to be viewed after the fact. And I do offer live readings in the live streams in addition to the topical chat. So we have three options here. Option number one, just get in touch with your intuition, see which of these piles seems to be calling to you. The first one is Umoja. The second one is Amaterasu. And the third one is Thekla. So just use the timestamps in the description box below once you've decided which pile is yours, and I'll see you at your reading. Okay, welcome to everybody who chose pile one. I've got a fortune cookie for you as well that we will look at some point in the reading. My cat is being very vocal, so you're going to hear her in the background. I don't know, she might be even in that mood to jump up on the table. I don't know. But anyway, I hope that she's not too distracting to you. So the card that you chose is Umoja, the goddess of all that flows. I am an ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. Yeah, so I feel like you're very in touch right now with the element of water and how water is a creative force, how your emotions, how love is a creative force. So I feel like this is the kind of goddess energy that you are in touch with right now. So we're just going to put her, where can we put her? Let's raise this up a little bit. Okay. All right, so what does your person have to say to you? I'm going to start with the Song Oracle. Let's see what that is. It's Dolly Parton Rockin' Years. Okay, so this is like a grow old with you type of energy. So I feel like this person, even though you're in separation, they do hope to grow old with you. It says, I'll do everything I can to make you proud to be my man, and I'll fulfill all your fantasies. I guess we're promising a lot, but for now it's all we've got, and I'll stand by you through our rockin' years. Side by side we'll be together always, and if you'll hold me tight when you love me, that's all I'll ask for you, and I'll stand by you through our rockin' years. I'll be your friend, I'll be your lover, until the end there'll be no other. I'll always love you, I'll always be here for you through our rockin' years. So that's a wonderful message. So this is what this person imagines, even though I would imagine you haven't quite achieved that yet. Let's see what else they have to say. I've looked you up online to see what you've been up to, so they're definitely paying attention to you online. They do feel apologetic. They feel like they haven't done right by you currently, and they definitely miss you regardless of how it seems. So let's get into what else they have to say here. What's going on here from their perspective? Can we forgive and forget? So I feel like they do want to come back together with you, but they're not sure if you would be willing to forgive them. And I feel like with this Umoja card, you actually do have a lot of love, like an outpouring of love to them, but they're not quite aware of that because they know that they've messed up somehow, and I feel like that's kind of what they're fixated on. I've been hurt too many times. So yeah, they're a part of what's going on with them as well, is that they're afraid of getting hurt again. You're so nurturing. I wish you'd be sweet to me like you are with other people. So maybe even when they're looking you up online, they're also observing you kind of being sweet with other people, something like that. What else do we have? You're a gift to those around you. Yeah, they notice your interactions with other people, whether it's online or in person, whatever they're able to observe in you. And they just think that you're such a gift to the world. You're so loving to everyone. They want a piece of that love because you have so much to offer. This place wouldn't be the same without you. You inspire me. So let's see what else we get in terms of a message. I'm just going to use tarot here to sort of channel what they want to say to you. What does this person want to say to number 1? We haven't gotten there yet. We're not there yet, but I do have this vision of us growing old together. And right now it doesn't look like it's being actualized. It doesn't really look like it's falling into place, but that's still what I really hope for. I feel like you have a lot of options, you know, in terms of romantic partners. You're very attractive, you're sexy, you have a great personality. Lots of people see you as a gift. And I don't know if you are envisioning the same future that I'm currently envisioning. And I know part of it is because I haven't put in the work that's required to help you see that vision, because you don't understand that that's what I want. And I haven't made it clear to you yet that that's what I want. There's also a transformation that I personally need to go through that I haven't gone through completely yet. I haven't gotten to the other side of some sort of transformation. For one thing, I know that I get jealous very easily. I get possessive very easily. And I get confrontational when I feel that way, when I feel jealous, and when I feel like other guys or other women or just other people are trying to get your attention, or when you're giving other people attention. It really makes me jealous. That's something that I know I need to transform in myself so that I don't take that out on you. I want to move forward in this connection, and I know that part of moving forward means that I have to admit my errors as much as I admit where I've been right. We both have to do that, and I know that I'm just trying to focus on me right now, because I have to admit, you know, the lightness and the darkness. In order for me to be able to move forward in this connection in a healing way, I have to be honest with myself about what I've done right and what I've done wrong. And I know that we could have the world together, and the fact that I haven't acknowledged what I've done wrong and kept things in balance in that way is a major reason. It's a major reason why we haven't been successful here. I get really defensive when you have brought up things that I've done wrong before. When you've aired grievances against me, I've been defensive. I haven't been willing to listen to you, and that's another area where I know that I need to transform. I need to change that. I get caught up in all the wrong things sometimes, and I get this idea sometimes that the only way to keep you is to be defensive and to be combative. I know it doesn't make any sense, and obviously it doesn't work, but that's where my head goes. These are the ways that I have of relating. They're not healthy ways of relating, and I'm trying to figure it out. You know, sometimes there are emotions that I don't want to face. And sometimes there are emotions that I don't even want to admit to. And because I'm unwilling to admit and address these emotions, that holds me back and gets me stuck as well. I don't feel empowered. That's one thing that I don't want to admit. Like I don't feel like I have the confidence. I don't feel strong enough or capable enough. Not just when it relates to you, but like in my life in general. Like sometimes I feel like kind of a loser, and I don't feel like I'm in charge of my life. You don't know this about me. You don't know the degree to which I feel this way inside. I barely acknowledge it myself because I feel so ashamed of being a loser, you know, but sometimes I feel that way, like I just don't have what it takes in life. I wouldn't even know how to begin to express this to you, and Sometimes I feel like happiness is something, it's like putting on a show. You become happy in your partnership with someone because you don't let them see this side of who you are. I feel like I'm going through a process now where I realize more so that I have to open up and be willing to share these emotions, even the ones that I feel ashamed of having, because maybe that's where happiness can be found. Because all of this denial of emotions that I've done in the past, where I've put my shameful emotions to the side, hoping that that would give me some semblance of happiness, it didn't work. So I'm starting to realize I have to be more honest with myself and with other people, including you, because I can't build a life with anyone if I can't be honest. I also know that if I can be more honest with myself, then I'll have greater inner peace, and then I'll also have more to offer. In a lot of ways, I feel like you're way more strong. You're stronger than I am. You're just so much stronger than me. Self-worth. Yeah, this person feels like you have a lot of self-worth, and it's something that they wish they had. They look up to you as someone who has so much confidence and self-worth, and this is an area where they feel like they need to improve in order to be worthy of you. I cast off all concerns about what people think of me. I know I'm a totally kick-ass person, and my kick-assness can never be diminished by rejection. So people can think what they think and feel what they feel. In the meantime, I'll just keep on knowing what I know without thinking about what they are thinking about what I already know, I think. So yeah, this is definitely an area where this person struggles, and perhaps you're not aware of that, or they think that you're not aware of it. They've been trying to hide it, and so they think they've been successful in hiding this lack of self-worth, but maybe you are aware of it and they just don't realize that. Let's see what your fortune cookie message is. Confucius said, think no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. Yeah. I feel like that's what this person has been trying to do. They've been pushing away anything that's quote-unquote evil or negative about themselves in this case. But they're starting to realize that that actually isn't very wise, and it isn't very helpful, because, you know, when we look at the Chariot card, we have a balance here of lightness and darkness, and that's how the Chariot is pulled forward. Like the yin-yang symbol, lightness and darkness have to be brought into balance and harmony. There has to be an acceptance of all aspects in order for things to move forward in a more healed, emotionally harmonious way. The Chariot is also associated with the sign of Cancer, I believe, either Cancer or the moon. But either way, it's very emotional. This person wants to be able to have greater emotional intimacy with you, and they're starting to realize they have to accept themselves more fully, even those parts of themselves they don't want to accept. And, okay, the learned Chinese word on the back is blue. And if the numbers mean anything to you, those are the numbers that are showing up. But blue, yeah, I mean, it's just emotional. They want to communicate their emotions. They've been feeling very sad about this connection. But they do really hope, you know, to go back to the beginning of the reading, they really hope that they can, you know, live out the rest of their lives together. You know, they want this Ten of Pentacles growing old together for sure. But they just feel like they have to figure themselves out and feel worthy. They feel like they have some transforming to do here. Now, if you all want some spiritual guidance, you can stick around, and I'm going to read this message from the Umoja card. If you just wanted to be here for the romantic message, that's fine. You can cut out now. But for the rest of you, let's see what your guides want you to know. Umoja 194. Okay, Umoja represents the creative force. Let me pull this down here. The creative force of the unconscious, the secret depths that bring the unseen into the physical realm. The African goddess Umoja gave birth to all the 14 gods and goddesses in the Yoruba religion. She is caring and nurturing, and yet also fiercely protective and strong with a desire to relieve her children of any struggles or sorrows. She is worshipped at the ocean or in any flowing body of water, though it is said that her true home is the Ogun River in Nigeria. She is considered to be a mermaid, whose energy, blessings, and power flows through all forms of water, cleansing, renewing, inspiring, and reminding us of the limitless love we are. In Brazil and Uruguay, she is offered succulent food and gifts on tiny boats cast out to the sea from the beaches. Her worshippers ask her to give them her blessings so that their desires in the new year can manifest. She is the queen of the ocean, the ruler of the subconscious, and the creative force that allows us to translate the ineffable into art. As the mother of all, she is the energy that brings new life into this world. Umoja creates a flow where before there was a block or a stagnation in our life force. So maybe the block in this connection, Umoja could be trying to help create more of a flow here. When we feel uninspired or stuck in life or in a creative endeavor, from having a child to writing a book, Umoja is the feminine essence that sets our energy back in motion. As a mermaid, she exists both in the world and also in the unseen depths. She can help us dive down deep into the unconscious or into the collective unconscious and retrieve the hidden secrets or the wise pearls that we need to integrate now for our life to flow again. As the queen of the ocean, she baptizes us to start over, to begin again right now, to let everything become brand new. There may need to be an energy of that in this connection as well, where a lot of the old grievances and heartaches have to sort of be processed and let go, like a river flowing. Just let them flow down the stream, or with the ocean tides, let the tide take out these old energies that have held the two of you back, so that you together can have a new energy of beginning anew again. She encourages us to use water as a ritual to send out our offerings to her, to bless our bodies in a warm bath, or to walk along a body of water and allow its perspective to give us the answer or blessing we seek. Umoja wants to cleanse us of the thoughts that are holding us back. Why do children calm down after a bath? Why do we feel healed and more centered after a nice long soak? Water is the element that held us in the womb. The return to our first and most primal element, the loss of gravity, the freedom of buoyancy. This allows us to release feelings or thoughts of being trapped or stuck. Umoja reminds you to use your tail. You are not of this earth, you are of the sea. What do I need to bring from out of the depths into the material world? I am an ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, welcome to everybody who chose number 2, which was Amaterasu, the goddess of light. We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. Now, at the end of this reading, if you want to get a spiritual guidance message, I'll be reading the oracle message pertaining to this card. But I will say, just to start out, this goddess, she's a sun goddess, and she hid her light away from the world because her brother was violent towards her, because he was envious of her. So there could be some sort of element here in this connection of you may be feeling that your love interest energy to you has also been very abrasive in some way. So maybe you feel like you've had to dim your light in some way. But we'll see more about how this shows up throughout the course of the reading. And then we've got a fortune cookie message for you as well. So I want to start off with the Song Oracle. And for you guys, there were 2 songs that came up. So let's see what they are. Oh, the first one is Etta James at Last. This is one of my favorite love songs. So What does this person want to say to you in separation? They do feel that you are their love. At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over, and life is like a song. At last, the skies above are blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover the night I looked at you. I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I can call my own. So, yeah. And here we are in heaven, for you are mine at last. So they do feel like you are a true love, for sure. They are very much in love with you. And then we get Garth Brooks' Unanswered Prayers. So this is a song about someone wishing and hoping that something would turn out a certain way for them, that they would be with a certain person. And then they ended up with being with someone else instead. And they're like, okay, so sometimes God knows best. So I feel like, obviously the two of you are in separation. I feel like this person may be thinking that you are a true love of theirs, but maybe they're just leaving it up to God. Like, are we meant to be together? Are we not meant to be together? I'm not sure. What else do they have to say? Is it possible to forgive and forget? Yep, so they definitely feel like there are some things that need to be forgiven between the two of you, and they're not sure if that can be overcome. They definitely feel that they've done some things wrong in this connection. I'm finally feeling the consequences of my actions, and I can't handle your words right now. So there have been some harsh words, some harsh behaviors spoken between the two of you, and they really don't know how to deal with it. I feel like from their perspective, there are things to be forgiven on both sides. It's not just that they've done some things that are wrong, although they acknowledge that, but they also feel, that you both have. Let's see. You are so much fun to be around. They do feel like you're a really fun person, though, and I want to be the one in control here. I feel like there have probably been control issues. You're one of the most reliable people I know. I admire your enthusiasm for life, and it's a privilege to work with you. So maybe the two of you have worked together. If not, it's a privilege to kind of be on the earth with you, because they do admire your fun-loving approach to life, your reliability. So they're glad to know you, even if it is not meant for you to be together, and they're not sure. I feel like right now they're not sure. Are we meant to be together? Are we not? I don't know. So what is their message to you? What do they have to say? I do love you. I love you very much. I feel that there is a potential here between us, but right now it's just a potential. It's like a seed that hasn't been planted. We haven't found the right conditions for this seed to germinate and sprout and really grow and flourish. But is there a wonderful potential? Yes, there's absolutely a wonderful potential. And it's because we're in love with each other. I'm in love with you. Yeah, the potential here is great. I feel like the seed that we have is like a huge tree, but we haven't really found a way to plant that tree yet. So we haven't reached this full potential that we could have. Let's see here. I feel very defensive when I think about the fact that we haven't achieved a relationship, or that, if for those of you who have broken up and you were in a relationship, they're saying, I feel defensive when I think about the fact that I haven't been able to make this work, that I haven't been able to figure out how to make this relationship come together and be stable and really work. I haven't, figured out how to create these milestones of togetherness that I know that we could have. I know the potential is there, and I feel defensive thinking about the fact that I haven't been person enough to make it work. It does make me, I don't feel good about myself when I think about this connection. When I think about how I've failed this connection, I don't feel good about myself. I know I can be better than this. I know I can be more reliable. I can be more dependable than what I have demonstrated to you. And the reason I haven't done that is because I try to push people away. I create these icy boundaries. I try to remain stoic and out of touch with my emotions, because I'm not comfortable with that, but I am comfortable with being in control, and that's what I try to do at all times. You know, sometimes I haven't been willing to take the risks necessary in this connection because I want to stay in control of my emotions and in control of everything. I've never stopped loving you, though. I feel like sometimes you've stopped loving me, but my love has never stopped. There have been moments when I really felt like you cut your emotions off from me. And in a way, I probably deserved that. In a way, you were showing and demonstrating to me your own strength, that I don't just automatically deserve your love without proving myself worthy. And so it did make me realize that I have not maybe been giving as much to this connection as what you have been. You're such a blessing. I mean, you pour your love out so effortlessly and easily until that point when you took it away. You took your love away from me because you felt that I no longer deserved it. And it never made me think that you're not a loving person. It just made me recognize that what you did was correct. I didn't deserve your loving behavior anymore. You know, I deserved to be cut off from that. And I can see that you continue to pour out your love onto other people who are deserving. And it just really makes me feel like crap sometimes. I know that I need to work on improving myself. I have a lot of behaviors and ways of interacting in relationships where it's a way of clinging on to what I do have so that I don't lose what I have. This is my way of being romantic. I try to get involved in attachments, and maybe they're not always healthy attachments, but this is what I do. I create codependent situations with people, and that codependent tie, that codependent bond that I create with someone is my way of showing someone my love. And it's starting to occur to me, but I haven't always seen the fact that I'm just setting myself up for failure when I take this approach to relationships. This is not very balanced. I have not been very balanced when it comes to interpersonal dynamics before. And because of that, the partners that I have had have not lasted. And in a lot of cases, I've attracted people who just wanted to use me for money. I may have in the past used money to try to keep people in relationships with me, to keep people codependent on me. That was my way of feeling empowered and in control. But I know that that doesn't work with you. It doesn't work with you because you possess the same divine energy. You know, we are both in our divine feminine and divine masculine energies. We are both empowered. And so I don't have a way to exert power and control over you in the ways that have worked for me in other relationships. And like I said, it didn't really work for me because those connections were not stable either. They weren't built on solid ground. They weren't built on love. They were built on codependence. I don't know how to approach relationships differently, though. I know that that approach won't ever work with you, but I'm still struggling to figure out the approach that will work. You know, I want to reunite with you. I want us to be involved in each other's lives again, but I feel like I'll just ruin it again. I'll get back into that power and dominance type of approach that I've always used, and I'll push you away again because I'll be ruthless, I'll be controlling, I'll be cruel. This is how I've always been, and I don't know how to not be that way. I'm willing to put effort into doing something a new way, but it's like I don't know how to. It's not that I'm not willing to make the effort. I just lack the insight and the awareness of what exactly do I need to do differently. I don't even know how to talk to you. I don't know how to express any of this to you openly. I would be embarrassed to say some of what I'm saying here in this reading to you in person, to admit how much power and control and dominance mean to me in relationships, to admit the level of codependence I've been involved with, the way that I've used money to keep people around. It's embarrassing to me. Wants and needs. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of this because this card has come up enough times, but I'll just read the first part of it. I take stock of my relationships and I'm honest about what I want and need from the people in my life. I note the difference between the two. Wants are negotiable, needs are not. So, yeah, I feel like they're starting to see that a better approach to relationships is that they need to acknowledge other people's wants and needs and not just focusing so much on their own. But they're struggling to see that. Even this, they're having a hard time seeing it. But let's see what else. I don't think that I want to make another attempt at this connection until I figure out what a better approach is. Because until that happens, I feel like we're just going to go round and around in circles. We're never going to get anywhere. I know that there's something that I don't understand about relationships. Maybe I need to consult with someone who has greater wisdom, either a spiritual elder or a therapist or just someone, even a life coach. I know that I feel like I'm lacking so much. I lack these interpersonal skills that are necessary in order to build a stable and reliable bond with someone. I feel like I need help. I need someone to tell me how to do relationships better, because right now I'm at a loss. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to have healthy relationships, and I don't think I'm ever going to have one until I figure that out. And so right now, that's just what I need to do more than anything. I feel like you don't understand. You're probably assuming the worst in terms of my feelings. You just assume that, I walked away or I abandoned you. You're not understanding that I just couldn't see this working until I figured out how to approach things in a healthier way. And I still don't know. Still to now, even at this moment, I am so lost in terms of how to do this better than I have been. Okay. So let's see what your fortune cookie message is. Attention is the mother of memory. And the Chinese word to learn is tomorrow. I feel like this person probably didn't get enough attention in their own childhood, and because of that, they don't understand how to give other people the attention that they need. They just want to have power and control and dominance, but they don't know how to just really observe, okay, what does this person actually want and need from me? All they know how to do is approach things from dominance and control. And it's hard for them because I feel like their own memories are not so great of people being attentive to them. They're not used to people being that way to them, I think stemming from childhood. And so they just have never really learned how to do that for anyone else. But there is still potential here. Your guides want you to be optimistic. There is still potential here. What is the guidance specifically for this connection? Your guides want you to kind of try to find what is meaningful, what is emotionally meaningful, what brings you joy about this connection. And even for you, maybe it could be about finding the balance of placing your attention as much on what makes you happy about this connection as it is what makes you sad or frustrated or unsatisfied. So what satisfies you about this person? What drew you to this person to begin with? What is it that you like about them even to this day? It could be, again, like just more attention needs to be placed on that in order to sort of balance out this difficult connection. All right, so for those of you who want a little extra guidance from your spirit guides, I'm going to read the Oracle book message for Amaterasu. And if you just wanted the romance message, of course you can skip on out if you want. For the rest of you, I am going to try to find the page here. Okay. Amaterasu embodies the levity that brings us out of the darkness and shows us the beauty of our own light. Amaterasu is the most powerful deity in the Shinto religion. She's the solar goddess of Japanese mythology. Her name means shining in heaven. The oldest legends of her date back to the 8th century and come from the Kojiki, or the Japanese Record of Ancient Matters. In Shinto, kami are spirits or deities, and the most well-known story of the kami in Shinto is when Amaterasu got in a fight with her brother, Susanoo, god of the storms and of the sea. His violence made her so upset and angry, she retreated into a cave, leaving the world in darkness. The kami of merriment placed a mirror outside of her cave and laughed so much that she became curious. She peeked outside the cave and saw a beautiful goddess, a stunning vision of the dawn. She was in awe of it, not realizing that it was her own reflection. Surrounded by laughter, her anger and depression lifted, and she agreed to leave the cave, bringing her light with her back into the world. When your soul selects her card, the cave is so crucial. Drawing inward, hiding our light to restore ourselves and to heal from something or someone, probably this love connection that was too intense or aggressive. We did get a lot of controlling, dominating vibes from them. When we hide our light, though, we aren't the only ones left in the dark. We take our light from the ones who love us as well. The beauty of Amaterasu is that she emerges from the cave out of curiosity, attracted to someone else's joy. That's when she meets with the dawn of her own reflection. She doesn't truly see herself and the beauty of her light until she's drawn out of herself. She sees her own light once she becomes curious about seeing the light that's around her in the levity and laughter of the other deities. This is the answer. If we've been too long in retreat, if we've been hiding our light not out of self-love and a soulful need for restoration, but out of a reaction to someone else's pain, then we draw ourselves out by focusing on the joy of others. Seeing their light allows us to see our own. And sometimes even the solar goddess needs to be inspired or reminded of why she shines so brightly, not just for the sake of her own reflection, but also for all those beloved beings that need her rays of light to remember their own. Sometimes we need the sight of the faces we brighten in order to remember why we are so devoted to finding our way back out into the light. Imagine someone in this moment you want most to see laugh and fill with light. We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. Yeah, so some of you might even be going through somewhat of a depression or just isolating yourself because this connection or maybe even other situations in your life have been so hurtful. But there are people who need to be brightened by your lightness of being. It isn't just you who benefits from pulling yourself out of that isolation. Other people can benefit from it as well. So if you're going through a tough time, be patient and be kind to yourself. Depression, serious depression, is not something that you can just pull yourself up out of at this, snap of your fingers. But, we can make progress in any area of our life if we continue to put effort into that goal that we seek. So if you seek greater happiness and greater joy, continue to put effort into that. And I'm sending you all of my greatest blessings. That the walk with depression has been a personal one for me throughout most of my life. And there have been times when I myself felt like I would never see beyond it. And here I am approaching 40 after spending most of my life struggling with depression. And my emotions are still not always easy, but I'm at a better place than I've ever been in my life. So I just want to, just give my example to you so that you do know that it is possible, even in the worst and most persistent experiences of depression. It is possible to get beyond it. So I'm sending you all of my blessings and lots of loving well wishes for comfort and serenity. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello, and welcome to everyone who chose Thecla. I'm just spraying some clary sage oil. That's the noise you're hearing right now. It's clary sage oil mixed in water. I'm just using that to clear the space. All right, so you chose Thecla, which says, "The prophetess of true power. I call my power back from all times and all places. I am my own." So this may have been a love connection where you really lost your own sense of power, or maybe lost touch with who you are. Maybe you felt like you kind of gave away part of yourself to this person or this connection. So we'll see. We also have a fortune cookie message to read. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with the Song Oracle message, and we'll go from there. Okay, your Song Oracle is Harry Styles' Cherry. All right. Don't you call him baby. We're not talking lately. Don't you call him what you used to call me. I confess, I can tell that you are at your best. I'm selfish, so I'm hating it. I notice that there's a piece of you in how I dress. Take it as a compliment. Don't you call him baby. Don't you call him what you used to call me. I just miss your accent and your friends. Do you know I still talk to them? Yeah, so obviously we're in a separation type thing, and this person feels like you might have already moved on, and they don't like that. Even though they feel like they can kind of see like maybe you are gaining back your power and getting into a better place, whether you're with someone new or not. They're thinking that you might be, and they don't like it, even though they feel like you're kind of glowing right now. They can tell that you're improving, but they miss you, and they might still even talk to your friends about you or something like that. But let's see what else we've got here in terms of their messages to you. We balance each other out. You're too nice. I'm too sour. Could it ever work? Yeah. So they do feel like even though you're not together, they feel like the two of you do really balance each other out in some way. And maybe part of the reason that you balance each other out is you're really nice, but they're really sour. So, but at the same time, they recognize that that's also why it doesn't work. You know, maybe they have come on too strong. Their personality and the connection has been too strong, and it drowned out your own power or energy in some way. I just wasn't ready for you. I can't seem to find the right words to say to you. Okay, and I should have been more honest with you about how I was feeling at the time. So let's just use this emotions deck to ask, you know, how were they feeling? What is the emotion they were feeling that they didn't tell you about? What were they not honest about? Okay, we get resentful reversed, indignant, offended, or bitter. And then peaceful reversed, and then proud. So I feel like this is more setting the stage for what their emotions were about. They Well, I feel like you were succeeding in some way, and I feel like they were literally sort of jealous or resentful, but they didn't want to own up to it. They couldn't feel peaceful or centered while they watched you succeeding in life. It kind of, even now, is sort of how they feel. Like, even though they care about you and they miss you, it's also like they don't want to see you succeeding or doing well without them. Was there an emotion in the past that they didn't say? They didn't tell you that they were uncertain. They did not tell you that they were unsure about which way to go with you. They may have led you to believe that they were on board with you completely and allowed you to continue thinking that, but secretly they just didn't really know. They didn't know, do I want to be with you? Do I not? I mean, they obviously are attracted to you, but they were unsure about the journey forward. They were panicked. It was scary to them, and they didn't want to feel panicked, and that's why they couldn't totally decide to go down this path of being with you, is because there was a lot about it that made them feel very scared and anxious. There's something about creativity. Maybe you are a very creatively expressive person and you have a lot to be proud of yourself about. Maybe you've had a lot of success with your creativity. And something about that as well. I mean, it made them sort of jealous, I think. And they had a hard time of being proud of you, even though they know that they should have been. I feel like this person felt that they would never be, that you would always be seeking your validation elsewhere. Even if they gave you all of this romance, that it's almost like your connection to something greater than yourself even made them feel sort of that they weren't a priority to you. Maybe you're a very spiritual person, or you put a lot of focus on your creativity, or both. It's like you're always looking for something bigger and better in life, and I feel like this is part of what made this person scared, because they're like, if I go down this pathway with you, if I go down this journey with you, then I'm afraid that in the end you're going to look for greener pastures. So I feel like they see you as someone who's always finding your success by looking for greener pastures, and they were afraid that this would translate to them as well. Boundaries. I claim my right to set healthy boundaries, and I allow others to do the same. Sometimes personal space is taken, and sometimes it's given. And sometimes, if you're on the subway, it's completely disregarded and shamelessly invaded. I guess it depends on the day. So I do kind of feel like this person had to, at some point, maybe choose the path away from you, even though I think it made them a little sad to take that path, because they felt like that was a way of sort of asserting their own boundaries. Like, hey, I'm not comfortable being with someone if I feel like you're always going to be focusing on other priorities above me, or if you're always looking for greener pastures. That's not a situation that I can feel safe in. And so I might just need to assert my boundaries by not walking this path with you. But they do love your smile, and they do still feel like your smile is contagious. Even like, it reminds me of this card, like, they do like seeing you happy. It's just sort of a mixed feeling for them, because I feel like it maybe triggers feelings of inadequacy in them. But, your success does inspire them to do better, and they have lots of wonderful memories with you. They do genuinely miss you. They have lots of wonderful memories. So let's just use the tarot and see what else they want to say to you. What does this person want to say to number 3? I wanted to be the more successful one. It was so selfish of me, but that's what I wanted. I've always wanted to be a successful person. I've always wanted to be someone who was seen and admired, and I know that there's a lot of my shadow element here, and I don't always express that desire in the highest possible way, but that is something that really got in the way of our connection. You know, back to that message of before, I really do feel like you balance me out, though, because you are holier than me. You're more spiritual. You're like a really solidly good person. And I genuinely know that you deserve all of the success that you've had. You deserve all of the good things that you have had. I know it's not right for me to selfishly be, jealous of the success that you've had. You deserve it. You deserve it more than I do. But it is something that is hard for me to be comfortable with. It would be hard for me to be happy being with someone who was more successful than me. I do love you, though. I do love you, and I hope that you're always happy and continue to be successful. I feel like I don't know if I'm the one who is meant to make you happy, but I hope that you are. I hope that you do find someone, even if it's not me. Like, I really genuinely hope that you find your perfect match. Yeah, it makes me jealous to think about it, but I'm not so selfish that I don't want you to be happy, Does it make me uneasy sometimes thinking that you could move on and get in a relationship with someone else, especially a really significant relationship? Yeah, that it's hard for me to maintain a sense of inner peace when I think about you moving on in that way. But then I try to cope with it by reminding myself that we have really wonderful memories and nobody can ever take those memories away from me. And I feel successful even that I've had those sweet memories with you, that we've even been able to have and express the love that we have had together, even if it doesn't continue, even if there's no future for us in terms of a relationship. I just feel so blessed to have been able to have what I have had with you. And I feel it makes me feel confident about myself because I know you're a real catch. And the fact that my life has even been touched by yours, it doesn't matter if it doesn't continue to grow. It honestly, even if we don't have a future together, I just feel like we've already had, in a sense, so much. And I've probably been blessed more than what I really deserved when it comes to you. There is a strong part of me that feels like we probably won't be in a relationship, or for those of you who've been in a relationship and broken up, they're saying there's a strong part of me that doesn't feel like we'll be coming back together in a relationship. But I've done a lot of inner seeking about it, and honestly, the reason for that is because I'm not good enough for you. I'm not at your level, and this isn't even me having low self-worth. It's more just me being realistic and saying, like, you're just like a higher vibrational person than me. Like, I'm not a bad person. Sometimes I can be selfish or, maybe focus on the wrong things in life. I don't think that I'm a bad person, but I just feel like you're like almost like holier than me. And I don't know that I could ever be on that level. I feel like probably the right partner for me is someone who's a little bit more down to earth and more real. Like, you are just like an angel. You're such a kind person. You're just at a whole other level than most people. And it's just really hard for me to see how it would work out between the two of us. Yeah, I don't know how my vision of what I want for myself could ever truly come together harmoniously with what I feel you want for yourself, because I feel like our values are just very different. My values are more worldly. Yours are more about achieving some sort of, higher spiritual pursuit or something like that. It's like I don't even know what it is. It's so out of my own lane that I don't even exactly know what it is you're about in life, but I know that it's loftier by far than my own approach to life. And by no means do I feel like my approach to life is wrong. I feel like my approach to life is healthy and I'm a good person, but it's just hard to see how our paths could really come together, because I feel like we're going in different directions in life. And I don't want to have to justify my choices because I feel like my life choices are not going to be life choices that you would choose. And I'm not saying that you would lecture me per se, but I would feel judged by you. I would feel constantly judged by you that I'm not being a quote unquote good person. And I don't think that I'm not a good person. And maybe you don't even think that, but I would just feel this level of judgment with you if we continue to be together. And I don't want to have to deal with that. Even if we brush it under the rug and pretend it isn't there, that energy is always going to be there. And it's always going to be painful to me because I don't want to be constantly thinking that I'm a bad person. I mean, compared to you, I am. Compared to you, maybe I am a bad person, but I don't think that I'm really a bad person. But just like when I stand next to you and your light, I feel so dim, I can't compare to the kind of light that you're putting out. And so in a lot of ways, it's very difficult for me to see how this could ever work. What is your fortune cookie message? A rolling stone gathers no moss, but it obtains a certain polish. Volleyball is the learned Chinese word. Yeah, I feel like with volleyball, there's been a lot of back and forth, but eventually, the energy has been back and forth and back and forth. One of you is putting something out there, the other one is hitting it back, and even if you're not in a relationship, there is definitely a strong back and forth energetic where there's some sort of interaction, even though you're in separation. But at some point, the ball is going to get dropped, right? You can't keep this up forever. And this message here, a rolling stone gathers no moss, but it obtains a certain polish. I feel like this is sort of how they see you as well. Again, that you're really always looking for greener pastures. And in that process, you do always improve yourself. You become like a more polished version of who you are. But that very quality within you is really what is so intimidating to them and makes them feel scared of really, going down that journey with you. All right, so that's their message for you. For those of you who want to stick around and get an extra little message here from your spirit guides, you can stick around. That it might reference the love relation, this love connection, or it might not. And if you're done, I will see you later. Okay, Thecla is on page 44, so maybe the number 44 is also a number that has significance to you. It is a master number. Okay. Thecla represents the ability to call back all of our power. The acts of Paul and Thecla dates back to the 2nd century, though some scholars believe its Greek composition could be from as early as 70 CE. It relates a young woman's call to a life of teaching and healing in the Christ movement in Asia Minor, which is current-day Turkey. Thecla, daughter of Theoclia, at age 17 overhears Paul teaching about Christ. She stays rooted in place at her window for 3 days, so she won't miss a word. Her mother had arranged for her to be married, so when Thecla feels called to begin her own ministry, she is sentenced to burn for refusing to be a bride. Just as the flames are surrounding her, though, she makes the sign of the cross, and a huge storm puts the fire out. She finds Paul, cuts her hair short, and tells him, "Only give me the seal of Christ, and no trial will touch me." He suggests that she isn't ready for baptism yet. Shortly after, a president of the Council of Syria tries to take Thecla in the streets to be his bride. She tears off his cloak and takes the crown from his head and publicly shames him for trying to take her without consent. She is then sentenced to death by wild beasts. In the arena, all the women protest judgment of Thecla, proclaiming her innocence. A huge lioness enters the arena, approaches Thecla, and then licks her feet and bows before her. She enters the pool in the arena that is filled with wild sea lions. The women fear she will be killed, but she declares, "In the name of Jesus Christ, I baptize myself." Suddenly she is shielded and protected by a great ring of fire, and a glowing white robe suddenly appears on her body. Paul tells her, "Go and teach the word of God." It is recorded in the Acts of Paul and Thecla that she lived until 90 and enlightened many. Her ministry proves the existence of female authority in the early Christian church. Yeah, and so I feel like for you guys, it's been a process in your life of really owning your power, specifically your feminine power. I know not everyone who watches these videos identifies as female, but the vast majority do. And we live in a male world where males want to always have authority. Even when she asked Paul to be baptized, he said that she wasn't ready. Well, obviously she was ready. And in the end, what did she do? She baptized herself. She had to embrace her own power and authority and say, listen, with all of these experiences that I've been having, obviously I have this spiritual power and authority to say that I'm ready to be baptized. And even then, after all that, Paul feels like he has to mansplain to her. Oh, yeah, okay, now, yeah, sure, go and teach the word of God. She already knew that that was her calling. She didn't need Paul to tell her that, right? But she also didn't want to be married. She wanted to live a life that was more spiritual. So this really does line up actually a lot with what has come up in the reading. So I hope most of you stuck around to listen to this because I feel it's very pertinent. The fact that you are kind of like this high vibrational, very spiritually kind of just very connected to God, the universe, however you want to think of it. It is very intimidating to a lot of potential romantic suitors because they are really just not at that level, which is fine. That doesn't mean that they're bad people. Again, like we saw in the reading, this person doesn't think that they're a bad person, but they know that they're just at a very different level. Their life's journey is so different from yours. Okay. When your soul selects her card, Thecla's story echoes from the ancient world to the modern world. Your life is up to you. Yes, there is the power of prayer, of faith, of asking for all possible spiritual support, but there's also divine will within each of us. It's will that's aligned with the soul's purpose. We remember what true power is when we divest all outside authority of the power we had been giving them. Power is calling back all the control we give to others to dictate our lives, our potential life partners, our family members, our culture, even our ego's idea of who we should be. Thecla reminds us that we do not need permission to be who we are. We can cut our hair short and baptize ourselves. We are not bound by anything except the dictates of our own soul. Her mudra is one of awe and wonder. We all have the power right now within us to take our life into our own hands. That's the source of fire itself, the divine will to call back our spiritual authority and claim this life as our soul's own. Where have I given my power away? I call my power back from all times and all places. I am my own. So, thank you so much for those of you who stuck around. I feel like that was really necessary for you guys. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I'll see you around. Bye, guys.